Hey guys, welcome to Git Er Done Garage. So today we are working on my 2012 Ram 1500 Hemi 4x4 truck with an automatic transmission. And today we're gonna have a lot of fun changing out the transmission fluid and filter. So let's get started. All right. So right now I'm just going to go around with this 8mm. Make sure I got it on back out. Yep. Go around with 8mm and just start cutting some of these out so we can drain this fluid. Now, transmission isn't hot. I just barely drove it up on these ramps, and then that ain't good for it. So I don't have to worry about it burning me. This is convenient. So here we go. So weird. I didn't know that 8mm bolts were a thing for holding on transmission pans, but I guess that's what it is. And I'll start off with, maybe explaining why I'm changing this, besides the fact that it hadn't been changed in a long time. So this truck, I've owned it for quite some time now, and on rare occasions, on deceleration coming to a stop, the engine would stall. So you're probably wondering, what does the transmission have to do with that? So what I was thinking was, because I did some other things and no codes, nothing ever showed up. And it would start right back up. No problems at all. Put it in neutral, start it, go. So a theory of mine was maybe the transmission torque converter is not releasing. And it's not releasing because the fluid is old. I don't know. Probably not grasping at straws. But who knows? I'm gonna give this a whirl. So one of the things I looked up on the internet was apparently Dodge, Ram, whoever, in their infinite wisdom, use some super strong sealant to seal this pan gasket on or to the transmission or whatever. I don't know. Fixing to find out. But the point is that you end up having to spend hours trying to get the gasket off. That's the rumor on the internet. I don't know if it's true. So what I did was I bought a brand new pan off of Amazon. It was like only $50 or something. And so yeah, we got that pan right here. I'll show you in a minute. So hopefully that'll avoid me having to spend a lot of time cleaning up this one. But at the same time, that may be internet lore, who knows. So We'll see if I need to use it or not. Actually, I am going to use it because I just looked at it closely. And it actually has a drain plug on it, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it because it'll make it easier to drain it next time. Okay, so what do I got? I got all the bolts out of each side. All right, and I left 3 in the back and 1 in this front. And now, as I back up the camera, now I'm going to take this one off and release the bloodbath of transmission fluid. All right, there it is, kind of loose. And all right, put these out of the way, never to be seen again. And I'm going to put my pan under here, and I've got some cardboard here that will sop up any extraneous spills, right? It won't leave a stain on the driveway at all. Nope. Definitely not going to leave a stain. All right, here we go. I can already see this is how do I get this off? Okay. All right. Oh, there it goes. Oh no. Now I got multiple drips. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my time. I'm going to let this just drain for a while. This is what I've done before. And instead of trying to go quick, go slow. Cheap tech tip: if you want a drain pan, temporary use, you can just throw away. These oven pans work great, and they're cheap. So normally, you know, a lot of people, including me in the past, would continue to pry on that and try to get it to drain faster and blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to let it drain. Slow and steady gets the job done. We'll let this go for a while, and then there'll be less of a bloodbath. I've already got some on my cardboard. Should have been better with that second pan, but it is what it is. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. I'm just going to pause it here. It's going to be like watching oil drip out of a pan. All right, so pretty much walked away for about 10 minutes or so. And, whoa. And let it drain on its own. And I'm back now, and I just sped it up a little more by shoving that screwdriver in there a little bit deeper, just to widen the gap a little more. Let it drain a little more, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take it easy, slow, let this thing drain to avoid a huge bloodbath. All right, just loosened some of this in the back. You can see it's slowing down. I'm going to try to shove this in there a little bit more. There it goes. All right, there. There's a big gusher of it right there. So, yep, just take your time if you want to avoid a bloodbath. If you don't mind a bloodbath, you know, you can always just pop it right open and let it fly. But yeah. I'm gonna see if that zoom works out any better. Hopefully y'all can see what I'm doing. I'm a horrible cameraman. All right, slowing down a little more, let it go a little bit more. These two pans are catching about, 95% of everything, so I'm happy with this technique. Now, I have seen people use like a storage container, that thing is massive. It's got a big size to it, so that no matter where it's draining, it's going to fall into that container, which is actually a really good idea. So you don't have to use a special oil drip tray. You can just go to the container section of your favorite store, buy a container. You may have to trim it to fit under the car, and have at it. Doesn't smell burnt, but it doesn't smell fresh either. This truck has 230,000 miles on it. So I don't know if this transmission's ever been serviced. I do know the previous owner did take it to Jiffy Lube and other stuff to get other things serviced. So, and I'm not sure if they did recommend to do that. They probably did. I don't know. And then even when you take it to Jiffy Lube, do they really actually do it? Hopefully they do. I have trust issues. Unless I see it with my own eyes, I don't believe it's been changed. All right. Maybe let this go a little bit more. There's that front one. Okay, so we have only one remaining. I suspect it's going to move back up here. So let's see what happens. Well, I think now's the real bloodbath. Let's see what happens. Now, taking it slow. I'm looking at the gasket service on the transmission and I don't see any residue at all. So maybe they only glue it to the pan. I don't know. I'm about to find out. I think now is what's going to get dangerous. Yeah, there we go. Oh God, that made a big mess. Oh well. All right. Well, pan is off. And now I'm going to have to go figure out how to actually get this thingamabob off. This little oil filter is part of it and this thing. So I'm going to pause it and investigate further because I like to get a good education so I start digging in. So hold on, folks. All right, just to share you, here's the pan. It's out, and I'd already moved this magnet around. So just wanted to show you, man, there's very little debris in this pan. And you know, after listening to people talk about this pan and getting this sealant off and everything, yeah, I could see that being a real pain in the rear. So I'm glad I got a new pan. I mean, I could take this off. Been there, done that. Not something new. But I like the new pan with the drain plug, so I'm gonna go ahead and use it. But just wanted to share you that, man, this pan was really clean. There was just some stuff on the magnet, not much. And other than that, that's encouraging. Hopefully this fluid change will help my issue, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, back after a little break, and I'm here to take off this these two filters here. You can see this is a filter and this is the filter. Fix to take them out. All right, let's see if I can position you guys so you can see. All right, okay. Get my handy dandy drain pan. More fluid coming out, which is good. See, these little lightweight pans are convenient for spilling stuff. There's more fluid coming out of that. Not sure what that was all about. It is what it is. Okay. And then let's see if I can get this out. Oh my goodness gracious. Rolls the exact center of the truck, of course. All right. Okay, I know that's the correct size. T25. Now I just got to figure out a way to make it to where I can get something to take that off. All right. Because that ratchet ain't gonna fit. Let's go find a T25 wrench that I can fit in there. All right. So I'm back. Got this little T25 here. And this 1/4 inch thing here, and we're gonna see all right. It broke free. Okay, that's that. Little screw out of the way. And more fluid out of the way. get this little seal out of the way without destroying the transmission. I'm gonna go get a light because I can't see a thing. Back with a light. And I've got some light so I can see. And we're gonna try to remove this Whoa, that was interesting. Aha! Ha ha ha! I don't see any issues with that surface. So I want to go grab the new one and a socket and pound it in. All right, back with a socket. Good seal. Pre-lube it in there. Get it kind of started in there. Don't fall. You're gonna fall. Your fault. You fell. Now you fell. Why'd you fall when I said don't fall? And of course you rolled the Timbuktu. All right, I'm back from Timbuktu. Had to charter a flight and everything. Man, airline prices have gone way up. All right, let's make sure I can do this without having to do any kind of zaniness. Why can't they make the transmissions on the top of the engine? I mean, it would be so much easier. All right. No, this is not easy. Oh my goodness. Did it fall in there? Well, I got it in there, but I think I mangled it, so I'm gonna have to go get a new one. What a pain in the rear. And we're back. So I'm going to do this a little bit different. And let me tell you what I'm doing different. All right. Number one, I'm going to use a different socket that I think fits a little bit better. And number two, I'm going to put this old filter back on to slow down the torrential rain of transmission fluid on me so I can focus maybe a little bit better. All right. Will that make a difference? Who knows? We're about to find out. But anywho, had to buy a whole new filter kit because you can't just buy the seal at the auto parts store. You can find the seal online, but I don't have time to wait around. All right. That looks a lot better. Okay. It's well driven on there. No problems cramming it on there with this socket. All right. So that, in my opinion, made a huge difference. So, wow, what a time waster. Mangled that new one. Had to go buy a whole new filter kit just to get the lousy seal. And then got it back on without any issues. So I do think it did help not having this constant drip of transmission fluid here by putting that old filter back on. So I'm gonna recommend you guys do that. That's what I'm going to do. And all right. So I did it just like an oil filter. I put a little lube on the seal, and then I put a little lube on this. I put the lube on the seal and then tightened it. Someone said 3/4 of a turn after it's tight. Sure. All right. And then I just put this back on. And now I gotta find out some light here. All right. So let's recap what I did different. This time I got a socket that I felt fit a little bit better on that seal. And 2, stop the constant rain of fluid onto me by putting that old filter back in that place. That thing seems to just constantly rain down. I don't know. I guess if you left this thing open for 24 hours, the transmission would completely drain. I don't know. But anyway, I got the new, I think this is a cooler filter, like it filters the oil coming back from the cooler. And this is the initial filter that filters it going into the transmission. So I guess if the cooler screws up, it won't fry your transmission. But anyway, now I got this on. I got this on. Main thing I need to do is just put the pan back on and fill her up. So let's move towards that goal. Just looking here along the pan, there's no silicone anywhere that I could see, so I don't have to remove anything off the pan or off the pan seal. And then another thing that I do, and I don't know if it helps or not, is I always dry off the sealing surface so when it gets a seal put on there, it goes straight to dry. Now notice there's a little bit of silicone in some of these holes. I'm probably going to get a little pick and pull that out. But as you can see, it's pretty much stopped raining down fluid continuously once I put this filter back on. Anyway, I feel I got a lot of the transmission fluid out, probably a couple of gallons. Let's go look at this pan. So you're probably asking yourself, hey Ken, so how much silicone are you going to put on this? So the way I always do my pans, I don't know if it's right. This is what I do. It may be really bad and it may leak like a sieve. I don't know. We're going to find out. I just put the silicone on there really thin. You can see there's not like huge globs of it. You can actually still see the indentations in the pan. I don't have a 1/4 inch thick bead all around or anything. So, no, I mean, this is what I'm going to do here. We'll see what it works. It's just plain old red RTV. And I'm going to throw the gasket on there and we're going to get under the truck and seal it up, see what happens. I got the rubber gasket on the pan after I siliconed it, and I'm just gonna start putting this up there and see what happens. I think it was this one. Yeah, there was some silk on in there. All right. So here goes nothing. See if I can hold this gasket not too far out of position. And there's one right here on the corner. Tell you what, I'm glad I didn't have to clean up that pan. All right. Here's a bunch of the screws, or bolts. Again, you know, from Mopar, the factory, they didn't have a gasket on there. Looks like they just used some kind of super tough gasket maker stuff. I'm sure there's some, I thought I read something about a Permatex, something, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to go with this, see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't leak. Even if it does, it probably only leak a very small amount. And very tiny leaks are not that bad. So I'm fine with that. I'm going to start using the cheater, aka which is a little risky, but as long as you have everything lined up. Move this a little bit, and I'm going to push this whole thing out of the way. No more mess in the way, at least. And there's that. So again, I just put silicone on one side, put it on the pan side to gasket. Thinking that the machined aluminum should be pretty good to seal against with just that rubber gasket. Yeah, Dodge, let's just run that exhaust right over those bolts. What could go wrong? I don't think I got it in there. Well, I'm about to. Ooh, no. So that's pretty much it. I don't remember how I got these in. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and just finish all these, torque them up, and I'll catch you on the top side when we add the fluid. Well, it's the next day. I filled up the transmission last night with 2 gallons of ATF plus 4 transmission fluid, and even still that wasn't quite enough. It was about 2 gallons and 2 quarts. So I filled it up. Transmission was running great. It's set overnight. This is the next day. I'm gonna check the fluid level so you can see it's high because it's not running. I'm gonna start it up and we'll check the fluid level. Actually, I'm gonna wipe this down and we'll start it up and see what happens. So they do have cold readings and hot. It does say, caution, do not add oil if level is between lower holes for cold oil or upper holes for hot oil. Idle in neutral, do not overfill. Use Mopar ATF-4. Alright, I'm gonna put it idle in neutral. I was doing it in park, but alright. It's cold, so I'm gonna start it up and see what I get. And as you can see, yes, it does really have 229,000 miles. This is the original transmission. Never been rebuilt. Engine's never been rebuilt. You can hear the exhaust tick leaking. It's been that way for forever. I'm not going to worry about it because the tick goes away after it heats up for about a minute. You can hear it getting quieter and quieter. So it's kind of like, I ain't worried about it. See what I get cold. I am on an unlevel surface, so this is completely wrong. Looks a little high. I'm going to move it to a level surface and see what happens. Alright, got it on a level surface. Just wiped it. Let's see what so it's at hot level. It's in the middle of hot, which is high. So I think I put a little too much. I'm gonna have to drain about half a quart out, and that's it. So transmission fluid complete. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Like I said, I'm gonna drain a little bit out. Should be good, and I'll let you know if that fixes my engine stalling out this year. Thanks for watching. Epilogue. Here is me draining some from this pan that already came with a drain plug. So Amazon pan is already paying off. Just gonna let this drip out about a quart, taking it slow. Again, trying to avoid making a gigantic mess. I'm gonna let some out and recheck it, and hopefully that'll get us where we need to be.